What's his ex-girlfriend name? Okay, just... Hi you guys, my name is Natalie and this is Nat'sNook. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're not, I'm glad to have you back for another video. Guys, it's August. That means that summer break is slowly coming to an end and class is either already in session or will be in a few weeks. Wow, this summer went by fast. But according to the thumbnail that you saw before you decided to click and watch and the title of this video, I will be doing a two-part book review on the You series by Caroline Kepnes. So I'm going to be doing You, of course, and then the sequel to You, which is Hidden Bodies. I read You from May to June, so I started off my summer reading this, and then after I read this, from June to July, I read Hidden Bodies. Both books are long, both books were intriguing, and also disturbing. So You, as I said, is by Caroline Kepnes. It was published in 2014, and they actually made this book a show on Lifetime until Netflix got their hands on it, so now it's a Netflix show. The first season is not, they just put it on Netflix, but I do believe that season 2, which is going to be based on Hidden Bodies, is going to be a Netflix original series. So I'm excited to see that. I did watch You, the first season on Netflix before I read the book, so I kind of knew what to expect as far as the characters, what the book was going to be about and everything. I just hadn't realized how vulgar and intense the book was going to be, and how the show kind of softened most of what happens in the book, and just, I'm lost for words. I want to read my book review that I actually did on Goodreads after I read the book. So I said, being in the mind of Joe and envisioning the story unfold through his eyes was intriguing yet highly disturbing. He was literally the protagonist and antagonist, even when it came to himself. After reading this book, I'm not sure I want an everything ship. I wouldn't place this as a romance novel, but possibly a suspense thriller. When I say that this novel was shockingly, like, plot twist after plot twist, so much build up from the beginning to the end, and I was just like, yo, I'm not sure if the author was like okay after writing this. Like, my mind, I would have to take like a mental health month or so after writing a novel as psychotic as this, as You. Like, now, when writing the characters in You, I'm pretty sure that Caroline Kepnes had to do a lot of research as far as the traits that she wanted her characters to have and how their relationships based on their traits were going to play out in the novel. Joel Goldberg is the leading male in the novel, and Guinevere Beck is the leading female in the novel and show. One thing that did draw me to the show would have to be the actor that plays Joe. I forget his name, but I'm going to insert it somewhere. He is Dan from Gossip Girl, and I didn't grow up watching it, but I did get into it when all of the seasons were released on Netflix. So I was like, oh, I know where he's from, like, he's familiar. And then also Easy A. So I was like, okay, I think I might enjoy this. I like his acting, and he played the role of Joe to a T, like, too good. Like, it made me hate him, then it also made me love him, and it's just like, I want that, but it's toxic. No. And so I understood what the whole hype of the show was about, and I was like, okay, the show is great, but I need to read the book, because, you know, they always leave out details that are key, or leave out details that is like, oh. So, okay, I see why they didn't put that in the show, and it was a lot. There was a lot in the book that wasn't in the show, and I understand why it wasn't. But I just want to talk about Joe. Like, of course, he tells the story of him and Beck's relationship, and how he wants to love her. He wants to love her. He doesn't want anything or anyone to come in between them. But of course, there are those people that come in between new relationships, either from your past or your present, or that just don't belong. And so Joe did everything, and I mean everything in his power, to make sure that him and Beck had this happily ever after type of romance. Starting off with the fact that he stalked her. I mean, yeah, he's this mysterious book nerd that can just speak literature all day, every day, and she's this wannabe writer that puts her life out there all over social media. And the fact that he uses that to literally stalk her just gave me bad vibes off the back. Hello, red flag, number one. So she comes into the bookstore where he works, buys a book or two for someone that she knows, and she pays with her credit card. So he has her name and everything. And so once he gets her name, and after them, you know, flirting a little bit, he looks her up, like literally Googles Guinevere Beck, because I mean, like, how many Guinevere Becks could there be in New York, right? Not too many. So he looks her up, finds her on social media, finds her Twitter, finds her Instagram, finds her Facebook, finds her friends' social media accounts to see how she is, you know, on her accounts rather than how she is on theirs. He even finds her address. Scary. He makes his way for like a few weeks or so, I believe, makes his way to her place on a daily, pretends to be this, you know, random, like, you know, person in the neighborhood, or like a jogger that's just going for a jog past her place, you know. And he stands outside her window that has no curtains, that is open, and he's just basically describing how he reads her. He reads her, how she's like, she's open. She doesn't care of who's looking in at her or looking on her. Like, she's this free-spirited type of person that's, you know, that's wants to be a writer, that goes to NYU, and things of that nature. And it's just like, he's like, okay, since you have your whole life open, mind if I take a peek? Which he does constantly, to the point where he sees one of her social media posts and just so happens to be at the same place at the same time or whatever. So I'm just like, Joe, you know what you're doing. You and I both know what you're doing here. So as time goes on, they get to know each other, but he finds as many resources as he can to keep tabs on her at all times. He even takes her phone. She has to get a whole new phone, but she doesn't cut the phone that she lost, that he took, off. So everything that's coming to her new phone is coming to her old phone as well. So he sees everything. Red flag number 2. Like, what? Someone from her past comes into her life, Benjamin, aka Benji, and, you know, they like friends with benefits type of, I mean, they were exes, but when her and Joe started to, you know, befriend each other, Benji was there, and it was just a friends with benefits type of relationship with him and Beck. Joe didn't like that. Joe was not happy at all with that relationship. So you know what Joe did? He took matters into his own hands. Spoiler, Spoiler. Joe is sociopathic, psychopathic, and I'm just like, no one sees these behaviors. No one, like, no, does he put on a good show? Is it like, does no one notice how he really behaves? God, pay attention, people. Joe decides that he's going to lure Benji into thinking that Benji is going to have this amazing lifetime opportunity, when in reality, Benji is about to be 6 feet under. That's how I'm going to put that. That's his fate. That's his lifetime opportunity. Joe is like, Benji, dude, I don't like you. I'm gonna need you to skedaddle out of Beck's life. And the only way I can do that without her crawling back to you is to have you leave. But instead of him actually like physically having him leave, he kills him. And then he keeps up with Benji's social media. Like, he pretends to make posts that Benji would post. And until it's like, okay, Benji, he's on a boat, and then all of a sudden there's a crash and he dies. I'm just like, Joe, you're very strategic to be an insane person, but you know, those who are crazy, they are smart. I hate to say it, but they are. And so now Joe is like, got rid of Benji, who next? Peach, Beck's best friend, who is digging her, and I mean like really digging her. Joe is like, you psychotic. You're not gonna take my girl from me. No, you can't even come out the fact that you are into girls, or that you are attracted to Beck at least. He was like, okay, I see I gotta get rid of you too. Peach and Joe, head to head all the time. Neither one of them liked each other. Couldn't stand each other. So Joe was like, I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta get rid of you. And I'm just like, how many people are you gonna kill, Joe? That's not how you solve these type of issues in relationships. You don't just kill the people that are close to your lover to think that's going to solve the problems. No. But then again, no person in their right mind would actually do that. So Joe isn't in his right mind, so of course he's going to do some irrational actions, and murder is one. So got Benji, Peach. He tries to kill her not once, but twice. Little did he know that later on that was going to come to bite him in the butt. And then it all comes down to him being with Beck, getting what he wanted, but then having to have her go 6 feet under as well. I'm not gonna lie, I was upset. I was like, you did all of this to end up killing your lover? Why? Why would you do that? You were so pressed to be in love with her. You wanted to marry her. You wanted to have her child. And it's like, all of a sudden, tables have turned, and she finds out who you really are, and it's like, I can't have my secrets come out. You have to go. Dude, you wouldn't be okay in jail? Like, well, then again, for what you did, you probably wouldn't even get any time. The chair. Most likely. But I'm like, oh, Joe, you did this to yourself, homie. You knew the consequences that could have come with what you've done. You killed Benji. You killed Peach. Oh, might I add? Let's rewind this. Beck and Joe, they split up at one point. Beck was going to therapy because she was like, it's so many things that are just wrong in my life that need to be fixed. And so her therapist, good looking guy, married, has children, she was having an affair with him. Joe just knew something was off. Joe knew something was wrong. So he went to her therapist, but it's someone else, of course, whole different identity. Because he needed the info. He needed to know like what was really going on here. He found out. Didn't kill the therapist, but put the therapist as the murderer of Beck when Joe killed her. Just wrote a whole story about how they were having an affair and all of this, that, and the third, and that he killed her because, you know, she was going to go to his wife and all of that and tell everything, and and so the therapist just wasn't having it apparently. And I'm just like, Joe, you are insane. I still can't get over it. And then I'm just like, and then he's just able to just go on about his everyday life, but warn the person, his lover that he killed, and then find someone new to date. Those type of people don't need to be in relationships. And like, I had so many questions. I was like, yo, are you really feeling these feelings? Or are you forcing yourself to feel these feelings? Because it's either, I don't know, I forgot which one. I did look it up. And I was like, okay, what type of person is Joe? Because he's definitely not sane. It's either sociopath or psychopath that doesn't necessarily have these feelings, like, you know, like how regular people, like, they feel like love, they feel hate, they feel sad, they feel happy. But with either one, like with one of those, it's like they force themselves to make themselves seem like they are a normal being. And I'm just like, Joe, are you really happy? Do you really love Beck? Because like part of you is insane. Like, do you really want to be in a relationship? Because I don't think you need to be. And then the fact that in the past he killed someone. He killed 2 people actually. He killed his former lover, and then someone that she was seeing. And I'm just like, dude, don't you see a pattern? It's you. You're the problem, not the person that you're interested in or the people that they're surrounded by. It's you. Like it or not. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, of course, like it. Leave a comment about, if you read the book, leave a comment about your favorite part, or if you have any questions that you might want to ask me about it and you're not too sure about reading the book, ask them below. And make sure you subscribe, because I am going to be putting out a lot of content this month before I get back into the books myself. So keep on the lookout for that. Alright, I guess I'll see you in the Nook next time. Bye guys.